His biggest plank was obviously law and order, cracking down on crime. He rallied a lot of people to his banner because there was a lot. He rode a wave of fear over what is undisputably rampant crime in Brazilian society. 64,000 murders nearly last year alone, 175 murders a day. That is a real and present danger, and people absolutely feel insecure. So he was able to ride that, as well as apprehension and anger over mass corruption across the government of the kind we were just talking about. As for how long, whether the clock is ticking on him, look, if you talk about his economic reforms, he's a man who said that he doesn't really know too much about the economy, which is why he's tapped a University of Chicago-trained economist to basically try to implement, and quickly, his economic reform program. Mass privatizations, lowering taxes, a very heady challenge trying to tackle the bloated pension system, pension reform. Whether he can do it, look, the markets have been cheering him, big business has been cheering him, agribusiness has been cheering him. Those cheers might die down very quickly if there aren't results quickly, because we've been talking about Brazil came out of recession a couple of years ago, but it's been a very tepid recovery, surging unemployment. We still have a bloated deficit. We have basically the inflation, the currency has been really plunging, and we have extremely low growth right now, anemic growth, if you will. So people want to see a change there. The markets are not going to give him long on that front. On other fronts, it's another question with the environment and crime.
Yeah, exactly. And as I was about to say, one of the groups that's not cheering him is environmental activists. Brazil, obviously, a key country in terms of the global environment.
And key for good reason. It's a key country because it has this thing called the Amazon, world's biggest tropical forest. It's a giant carbon sink. It basically sucks up carbon emissions that cause global warming. And it's been called the lungs of the planet. What is he basically doing? He's basically saying it's open field day on the Amazon, paving roads through it, opening it up to agribusiness for soybean and beef development. Deforestation's already been a problem, even under the previous government, despite promises to do better. If the Amazon is deforested at a quicker rate, all bets are off as to whether or not it can continue to fill the planet's vital role as that carbon sink I was speaking of. He's been contemptuous of the indigenous tribes that live there, saying that, basically they don't deserve, a hectare, a centimeter of the land that they're on. So what's their fate going to be? That's a whole nother question. But right now, his program with the environment is basically a non-program. We don't know whether he's going to pull out of the Paris Agreement. He's blown hot and cold on that. It could happen. It could not. But even without that right now, it already looks like his environmental program is very much reminiscent of what we see in the U.S. right now with Donald Trump, basically almost downgrading or ripping up, scrapping the environmental ministry altogether. Hasn't happened yet. Could happen. That's the fear.